Welcome to Emtron Training Part 59. In this training tutorial, we're going to be taking a look at working with our overrun boost or anti-lag function in our Emtron ECU programming. Our overrun boost is used when we want to build boost in part throttle or an overrun lift throttle type of situations. This is primarily used on rally cars that are turbocharged so that when we're pedaling maybe mid-corner and we're trying to modulate the power, when we come back on the throttle, full throttle, we'll have boost there instant. We don't have to wait for it to come in, and we don't have any of the turbo lag, so it makes us faster around a track. We can implement this on rally cars, we can implement this on hill climb cars, on road race cars, variety of applications we can work with this on. We need to know how to program this and set up all the configuration details in the Emtron. Let's jump in so we can check out how to set up our overrun boost. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be taking a look at programming our overrun boost cut feature within our Emtron ECU. Our overrun boost cut is also known as a rally style anti-lag. It allows us to generate boost when we're in part throttle or in lift throttle conditions. This allows us to stay on boost and stay in our power band when we're in, let's say, mid corner in a rally car and we're modulating the throttle or coming off the throttle. We don't have to wait for the boost or the power to come back on when we go back onto the throttle. This is really advantageous for keeping into the power band. It definitely makes you quicker around track, whether it's a rally car, a road race car, or even something like a hill climb car. Now this is definitely a motorsport type of feature. It's extremely hard on the engine, so we want to use this sparingly. It's going to rapidly generate a ton of heat, a ton of exhaust pressure, which will be stressful on the turbine wheel of the turbocharger, also on your exhaust valves. So you have to be mindful of how much you use this. If it's a true motorsport application, such as a rally car, you'll most likely be changing the engine and the turbocharger relatively frequently, so that may not be so much of an issue. If this is more of a street application with occasional track use, definitely use it sparingly because you can and will damage the turbocharger and damage the exhaust valves at the very least. All right, let's jump in here. Let's learn how to turn it on. Let's talk about what we have to program, and then we'll go through setting up a quick example here of working with the overrun boost. Emtron does a pretty good job at defining a lot of the tables already, but it's good to understand how they all fit together in terms of the programming. So if we jump into our motorsport right here, we're going to find that our overrun boost anti-lag feature is an option right here. However, it's grayed out. We need to go and turn this on. So we're going to go into our config, jump in here into functions, function output setup, and then move into our motorsport functions tab. Here we'll find as the very first option overrun boost anti-lag. We double click here. We can go to the function enable, go from off, turn it on, and then the function type, we're going to be leaving it as mode 1. There's only one option here. There's no further options. I suspect that Emtron probably is going to be adding additional modes with future firmware or software releases, but for right now, we'll just leave it on mode 1. Now, down below we have our output function, anti-lag extra air bleed. When we're working with this overrun boost type of condition or programming, we'll find that we traditionally use the idle control solenoid, whether it's a pulse width modulated motor or a stepper motor, or drive-by-wire, and we open the drive-by-wire plate or we open the idle control motor to deliver more air into the engine when we're in these part throttle overrun conditions. What this does is increase the amount of exhaust flow, which will generate more boost pressure because it's going to be spinning the turbine wheel quicker. If we can't get enough airflow, bypassing into our engine, bypassing the throttle plate or bypassing some additional airflow above and beyond what the idle control motor is able to put out, then we can use an extra solenoid to control. Essentially, the same idea is having another idle control solenoid or motor on the intake manifold. This will allow additional air to be bled and creating an even bigger vacuum leak, creating even more exhaust flow and exhaust volume to spin the turbocharger to generate the boost pressure. This may or may not have to be used. So we're just going to keep it off for right now. Let's click OK here. We'll come back into this and talk about it. But for right now, we'll just keep it off, keep things simple. Now if we go from our configure back into tuning, and we jump into motorsport functions, we'll find that overrun boost here is able to be clicked on, and now we can see the table starting to be exposed. A few things with this. We're going to find that we have our table 1 options here. We have an ignition retard table, a fuel enrichment table, we have an ignition cut table, and an air bleed table. All of these are used in combination to achieve the results that we're after. We'll talk about how those work. Notice down below we have these tables grayed out. These are table 2. If we're working with something like our cowl slot control, or if we simply want to turn one table on or off, we're able to do that under the orb table control. We can see our different options here. So option 1 or 2 turns on table 1 or 2, so it'll use one or the other. Or in the cowl slot control feature, this allows us to toggle between 2 different overrun boost profiles.
table 1 in one cal slot, table 2 in another cal slot. So we can see how that programming is going to work. Right now we're just going to keep it on our table 1 option here. So under the orb table control, table 1, we'll just focus on using just a single set of tables, table 1, in order to achieve the results that we're after. Now the other things I want to talk about here, we have an overrun boost setup. We also have a cooldown mode. In the cooldown mode, this is used specifically so we don't overheat the engine or create too high of EGTs. This is also known as a cyclic style idle control, where if you've ever heard a rally car come from off of a rally stage and it's idling, it'll almost have a popping and banging and an erratic idle. That's because of a cyclic type of idle control, or what's known as cooldown mode. It's putting the engine into cooldown mode to try to decrease the EGTs and decrease the exhaust temperature. It does it in a very specific manner. We'll talk about how to set that up. The cooldown mode needs to be used in conjunction with setting up the overrun boost. They have to go hand in hand because...
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here. And you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.